When I first bought this Porsche, everybody told me the same things. The maintenance is going to be expensive, you're going to regret it, just wait till something breaks, it's not worth all the money. And honestly, after owning this car for a while now, I figured I'd actually sit down and make a video about all the things I do actually regret about the car. The problem is I couldn't really come up with much. So for this video, I challenged myself to find everything I dislike, anything that may annoy me, or anything that comes closest to making me regret buying my Porsche. And some of the answers did surprise me a little bit. So everybody on YouTube makes the same type of video: why I sold my car, things I hate about the car, things I regret about buying the car. So I figured I'd do it a little bit differently for my car. So with this car, I haven't really been able to find a lot of things I regret. I've literally been thinking about this idea for a video for like a week, and I can't figure out anything I actually directly regret about the car. But there are a couple things that I would like to point out that do throw off the car a little bit, or I guess make it a little bit difficult to own, if you will, which isn't exactly a regret, but it's just something that I figured I'd make a little video about. So the first point I would like to bring up about the car is, again, if you don't know the story of how I got this car, I was 19 years old when I bought it. I'm 23 now, so I had the car for about 4 years at this point. Big thing that this car kind of ruined is it ruined other cars. This car handles incredibly well, it feels incredibly good, it's very stable, it puts down the power, and like I said, handling is ridiculous on these things. The center of gravity on this car is very impressive, which just kind of ruins a lot of other cars because everything that you drive after that is almost a downside unless you go to, of course, a 911, or I've driven Lamborghinis. Obviously those are like insane, but in terms of cars in this price range, there's almost nothing else out there that drives like this. I've owned a bunch of cool cars over the years. I've had a Q50 Red Sport, I had a Golf R, I had a G80 M3, and the problem is with those cars is once you drive them and you look at the price tag on them and you look at the price tag on a used one of these, you start to think, is it really as good as the Cayman? Is it really that much better than a Cayman? Is it even as good? Does it even compete for the price of this car to those cars? So that's kind of my one regret, if you will, is that this car did sort of ruin a lot of other cars for me. So another regret I have about this car, and I guess this just comes with owning a more higher end car or performance car to any extent, is you hear any little creak and you just think, well, that must be expensive. You hear anything and you're like, oh, little tweak there in the corner, that probably $3,500. Little, something you hear click behind you, $2,000. And you always just have that fear in the back of your head, or at least I do myself, because every repair on this car can get very expensive. At the end of the day, it is a Porsche, so these parts are all from Germany and all this, so these parts can just get very expensive for this car. Labor on this car obviously gets very expensive. Now, I don't bring this car to Porsche to get the work done because they're just going to overcharge, in my opinion. But when it does come to, I guess, regrets, that is just something that I kind of don't like, and it's a personal thing that I deal with, but it's not, maybe normal for everybody. But I'm sure every Porsche owner kind of has that feeling where, like, for example, one time the car was riding a little bit weird, and I have aftermarket springs. So I was thinking, okay, maybe one of the springs is a little bit messed up. Maybe I have to order new springs, a couple $100. It's really not the end of the world. I ended up needing new axles, which was over $3,000 for just the part alone. Or you'll hear a bunch of little clicks and you'll be like, I think something's wrong with the car. Like, you bring it in and they're like, yeah, you're fine. That's just, you were hearing things. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm just absolutely out of my mind and I'm completely nuts. Now, another, I guess, problem I have with the car is the modifications never stop. And I really didn't know that when I bought this car, of how much aftermarket support there was for one of these. I wasn't as knowledgeable on owning cars as I am now, so I didn't realize the aftermarket support for this, and I didn't realize how deep you can go and how quickly you will dump money into a car that you love. Because if you watch the previous video that I uploaded, I am $21,000 deep into aftermarket support for this vehicle. Between things I've had to do, but most of it is just things I wanted to do. Cosmetic upgrades, obviously a lot of performance upgrades. There's been minimal cosmetic upgrades that I've done to this car. But performance upgrades, I think in the last video I said I'm something like $9,000 into just parts alone for the car. Between the exhaust and, tunes and, suspension stuff and whatever the case may be. So one thing is with this is like, there is so much upgrade potential that you just want to take advantage of all of it. And I guess that comes with any performance car, but for me, this being my first performance car and being kind of like, my baby, it's my first Porsche, it's my first really cool car, it's my first sort of I made it type of thing. So I just dump money into this thing. Anytime, something comes up and you go online and you're like, okay, well, the car, it would be really nice if it had white side markers, which is $125. But that's cheap, so that's not too much money. So let me grab something else while I'm on here. Then you spend $500, and then you spend $1,000, and then you're like, well, I'm already spending $1,000. What's $3,000 at this point? So then you end up buying all this other stuff, and you can get really deep into modifying these cars incredibly fast. Again, I'm sure it's similar with any sports car to any extent. Now, going into cost of this car, I figure this kind of goes into it really well. So when it comes to the cost of this car, one weird thing about the car that I guess I kind of dislike is people see Porsche and non-car people figure you're driving a six-figure supercar. And don't get me wrong, Porsche makes some incredibly expensive cars. Of course, they make cars that go upwards of $500,000. They make cars that are $250,000. And most of their cars are over $100,000. But people also tend to not know what a Cayman is compared to, a 911. Again, I'm talking day-to-day people. So they kind of have premeditated opinions about you with the car, which aren't obviously true because they think you spent $200,000 or $120,000 on a car, which people forget that you can get one of these for less than a new, fully loaded Toyota Sienna. You can get a used Cayman for in the $50,000 range, especially a base Cayman or a 987 the generation before it. These I've seen sit generally in the 60 realm, but even that is still, in the similar price range to a brand new, fully loaded, certain Hondas and certain Toyotas. So that's definitely something that I would say is not really regret again, but something that I don't particularly love about owning the car. It does kind of give off like a wrong presentation, especially mine with all the work I've done to it. It's very loud, and I feel like that kind of gives off that I'm, some kind of a turd with a bunch of money who bought a really expensive car, which I might be a little bit of a turd, but I didn't buy a really expensive car. Another regret, which is also pretty funny, is I really thought I always wanted a Porsche. I always wanted a Cayman. Since I was a kid, I always wanted one of these cars, and I really thought when I buy one, I'm good, and it's going to cure my car addiction, and I'm not going to want any more cars. And I couldn't have been further from the truth, because now I just want another Porsche, and then after that I just want another Porsche, and I think of all the other Porsches that I want: 911s, GT4s. In a dream world, a Carrera GT or a 918, of course, would be the perfect car, but I don't see myself getting one of those anytime soon. So, but it does open the door to, you get to these car meets and you talk to other people who have Porsches, and they have ridiculous ones. I mean, I'm talking GT3s, GTSs. I met a guy with a 911R once, and you look at those cars and you're like, wow, if this impresses me as much as it does, I can't even imagine what those do. And about a year ago, I got to drive a 992.1 GT3 RS, and I'm telling you, that was the most insane thing and surreal experience, purely just the way the car feels. So one thing, I guess, which is kind of a weird regret, is if you're looking for just an entry-level Porsche like this one, and hoping that, you're going to have your Porsche, you're going to be done, it's the start of a new addiction, it's the start of a new problem, and it went from me wanting all these different brands and all these different cars to me kind of just saying, wow, I just want all these different 911s and Caymans and Boxsters and all these different Porsches and old Cayennes and all this weird stuff. So I will say that's kind of one thing that I guess I regret about the car, is now it kind of opened up a new door to a lot more problems, a lot more addictions when it comes to owning cars. So after all that, do I regret buying my Porsche? Not even a little bit. There's absolutely nothing I regret about this car. Every time I walk in the garage, it is the coolest thing in the world that I get to drive this car for the day or take it out for a little bit or whatever the case may be. So there's absolutely zero regrets I have about buying the car, but I am curious if you have a Porsche, or if you've owned a Porsche in the past, or whatever the case may be. Do you have any huge regrets? Because I'm always looking to buy more cars, and I'm curious what other people who also have Porsches have to say. So I figured I'd do this little video and just kind of go through it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that. If you have any questions about the car, please feel free to comment, and I'll respond, of course, or message me on Instagram. It'll be linked in the little description below. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.